The Knicks lose in overtime as Trey Burke drops a career-high 42 points. Let's talk about it. Yep. Let's cut right to the chase. Peace, everybody. What's popping with you? We'll cut right to the chase. Trey Burke, career high 42 points. The kid was on fire. Without a doubt, he was on fire. Black, it's Trey Burke's time. There we go. Good one. Burke was on fire. He was cooking tonight. And, his jumper is pure right now, for sure. It is pure. It is pure. You say every title from here on out is going to have Trey Burke in it. It might. If he keeps playing this way, it might. Just might have Trey Burke in it. And he had 12 assists too. He was definitely cooking. And he's changing everybody's mind who has been doubting him. And that includes me. You know what I'm saying? Who's been doubting that he can be the lead point guard. He's changing people's minds. You know what I'm saying? Jeffrey, yeah, you say Trey is more than a six man. That's what he's proving right now. He's hearing people talk. He's hearing people saying it. And he's like, okay, let's get it. I'm going to show you what I can do. And he's coming back with a vengeance, man. Whoo, Piff Gates. Jeez, he's a top 8 guard in the league. Okay. Already, he's a top 8. Hey, you know what? He was supposed, when he was drafted, he was highly regarded. We got to see, can he do it consistently? Through a whole season. I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying, we've got to see, can he do it through a whole season? But, with what he's showing right now, he is, he's definitely killing, man. And he's proving all the haters wrong. That's without a doubt. He's proving everybody wrong. And everybody who hated on him or said he couldn't do it, or the doubters, proving him wrong. He says, Sim, you said I can't be a starting point guard. Watch this. Watch what I do as a starting point guard. Yeah, that's what he said. And hey, man, and he did it. And he didn't. And what you gotta like about it, what you gotta love about it, is that he did it against a very good guard in the league. He did it against, somebody who is highly regarded in the league, a decent defender, and someone who's going to come right back at him. That's respectable. And you gotta be sure that he's turning heads in the league. You know what I'm saying? Gotta be sure that he's turning heads in the league. Does it change if Scott Perry's strategy was to look at more point guards? Does it change it? I don't know if one performance does. Brandon Jennings dropped 50 in a game before too. But it hedges him in the right direction. I'll say that. It's hedging him in the right direction. Let's see what he do. He did. He shot 61% from the field. He was 19 for 31 from the field. Man took 31 shots. But he was hot. So you can't get mad about that. He was hot. He shot 61%. So he deserved to shoot 31 shots if you're shooting like that. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm not the kind of, I don't like my point guards to pull that many shots, but, when you're hitting. And when you're hitting, you got to feed him. But he also had 12 assists, so you can't complain. You can't complain about nothing tonight, really. You can't complain about too much tonight. Now, we know that Kemba Walker caught fire. He did. When Kemba Walker was 11 for 21, 52.4%. They were both hot. When somebody catches fire like that, if you got another guard or you got another player going against you who has a bit of a mean streak and has got some pride on the line, they're going to get hot. They're going to get hot, So, Jason M., you said, my man Moutier has got to be worried. Frank played well and then Burke killed it. Moutier may have to go to the 2 to get playing time. Moutier is not going to the 2. He can't shoot. What's he going to... Frank is playing off the ball, has been playing off the ball. He played more on the ball tonight. But he has been playing off the ball. At least he can knock down a 3. Moutier is his shot is kind of broken. It needs to be fixed. I don't see him at the 2. Maybe in stints he can be at a 2, but he'll never be a full-time 2 in my opinion. He can't shoot for nothing. Can't shoot for nothing. So what does Burke's performance prove? Does it prove that he's a starter in the league? That he is a long-term, consistent starter in the league? Does it prove that? Or does it prove that he can that he's a scorer, which we knew? I think only time is going to tell. You're not going to be able to see anything just from this game. We'll all get hype over it, and deservedly so, because he had a hell of a game. But we do have to put it in perspective and say, can he continuously? He's not continuously going to put up 42 points, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying can he continuously put up 42 points. I'm saying can he continuously play at the level that he's been playing on throughout a season. There's a difference when you're doing it, in a couple of games, and Jeff Hornacek didn't give him consistent time to see if he could do it, for long periods and really sustain it. So you can't really see it for now. But when the season starts, teams will begin, 20 to 25 games into the season, teams will begin to game plan for you. That's when you've got to find out, can he really do it? That's when you'll know. You know what I mean? If let's go backwards a minute. Is he the starter? Based on this right now, is he the starter next season? Let's answer that. Is he the starting point guard next season? Obviously we can't predict it. We don't know what's gonna, what'll transpire over the summer or anything like that. But it's a valid question. Is he right now the starter to be penciled in? Can you pencil him in as a starter for next season? Whose Mark says no. Some people say yes. Air Force One, Air Force Up says yes. Ron Jean says yes. Gerland says yes. I see a whole lot of yeses. CP the Artist says no, he's a gunner. We'll see. He's a 6-man. See, I still kind of believe that he's a 6-man. I do. And you're gonna have you're gonna have a 6-man that can put up. Nate Robinson put up 40-something points in the game before. I'm not sure what Jamal Crawford's high is, but he's been up there as well too. I think it's a valid question to ask, and we might find out, because if he continues to play like this, they might pencil him in as the starter and then see what he can do when teams begin to. Tony Crow, you say a stopgap starter. That might be a stopgap starter. stopgap starter. We'll see, but there's going to be a lot of push for him to be the starter. There's going to be a lot of push if he continues to do this. Now, I still do believe in Frank long term. CP the artist, I'm with you. I really don't want my point guard to shoot that much. Because even when he's not that hot, he doesn't shoot that much when he's not that hot, but he still is a shooter. And I think he's better off coming off the bench. But, on a night when he's shooting 60%, I'll be truthful with you. Any player that's shooting 60% on a night like this, I'll say give him the ball, let him go, no matter what position it is. So I'm not going to get mad after tonight. But I still do think that he's probably better off as a bench player. But he's making his case. He's making a tough case. He's making a really, really tough case. Really tough case. See his stats again. Let me just look at his stats again. He was 19 for 31, like we said before, 61.3% from the field, 12 assists, had 1 rebound. He only had 2 turnovers. Had the ball in his hands a whole lot and only had 2 turnovers. Had 1 steal. He played a really good game. That's what it is. He played a really good game. They could have been empty assists. I'd have to go back and really look at it and see. But it's hard to argue about his game today. I'll say that. It's hard. Ishmael, Frank played less than 20 minutes because he fouled out. He fouled out in the third quarter. Frank was playing a good game in the first half. He didn't score in the second half. He had 12 points, 3 assists, 2 turnovers. He had 1 steal, 1 rebound. He was aggressive going to the basket. He looked more like a point guard in that second quarter than I've seen all season. Like the kind of point guard that people are asking him to be. He probably had his best quarter of the season in that second quarter. You know what I'm saying? Best quarter of the season. Of his season. Best quarter of his season for him in that second quarter. He looked really good. He looked fast. He was going to the basket with some, with good aggression. He took 8 shots in the first half. He was 6 for 8 in the first half, and then he was, he missed 2 shots in the second half. So he ended up 6 for 10. Ended up 6 for 10. Siobhan, appreciate the super chat. You said, we got to chill. Trey had a good game. We already knew he could score. If the chance came to get a Young or a Sexton in the draft, the Knicks wouldn't hesitate. That might be correct. That might be true. We'll see what, we'll see what Scott Perry and them boys are thinking. We'll see what they're thinking. I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Emmanuel just said that a little while ago, said that he likens Trey Burke to Isaiah Thomas. I kind of agree with you. I also look at him, maybe he's probably better than Nate Robinson, but he reminds me of a Nate Robinson too. And the kind of guy, like Nate Robinson for a little while in the league, he was the kind of guy who, when you had no one, you pulled in Nate Robinson because you knew he can get you some buckets. But he was never going to be a team's long-term answer because of his size and, his... Not that he had a bad attitude, but his immaturity. I'm not saying that Trey Burke is immature. I'm just speaking more as to his style of play, and his size. He's a little bit bigger than Nate Robinson, taller, way better shooter than Nate. Yep, he's a better shooter than Nate because Burke knocks it down. Burke has a hell of a pull-up. That pull-up is money. So, what does Scott Perry like in his guards? Or if Jeff Hornacek is going to stick around, what does Jeff Hornacek like in his guards? Do they like more size and length? Or do they not mind having somebody his size? That's a question to be asked as well. Because if they don't mind having someone his size, then they may feel like he's the guy, at least for a little while. If they want somebody that's longer, then he's not going to be the starter. They're not going to look at him as a long-term starter. So we'll see what happens, but he's making a big, strong case for himself. Strong case for himself. And honestly, I hope that he continues to make the case for himself because I want to see anybody do good. They make it into the league, I want to see them do well. What does this do to his value? The Knicks have him on a non-guaranteed contract for next year, I believe. We'll see if we can pull up his contract. What do you do with that if you're the Knicks? All right, they have him on a non-guaranteed contract for next year. So let's find Trey Burke down here. So right now they only have Trey Burke. They only show here Trey Burke for the remainder of this season. But I believe he has a non-guaranteed contract going into next season. Right? I don't know when it becomes guaranteed or anything like that. What do the Knicks do? Will Trey Burke, I don't know if he has a non-guaranteed contract. If it's not guaranteed, that obviously means that the Knicks can cut him and do not have to pay him. I don't know what it means on the player's end, right? I don't know if it means that Trey Burke can say, I want to take another contract or not. I'm not sure. I don't know. I need some research, or if somebody knows, please let us know. I don't know I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means that, he can go if he wants to, because obviously the Knicks can cut him if they want to and not have to pay him. Does that mean that he can go if he wants to, that he can sign another contract? I don't know. Not exactly sure what it means from the player's perspective. But what do you do? What do you do? Do you extend them? Do you sign them? Sign them to something a little longer term? Do you wait until next year and see? Give him a chance. Do you give him a chance as a starter and see what he can do with it? In a longer stint. Because right now you're going to get to see 8 games of Trey Burke being a starter. That's not a big, that's not a big sample size. So, there's going to be some things to think about. Does he become a valuable trade chip? Based on his play, is he now somebody who can bring you in some assets? There's nothing but positives to him playing well, right? Nothing but positives to him doing what he did tonight. Nothing but positives. He can obviously help the Knicks by playing the way he played tonight. But if the Knicks don't feel he's a long-term answer, then maybe he can be, if he continues to play this way, then maybe he can be a trade chip. Because, Trey Burke has been not really bounced around the league like some players, but he began that trend of being a player a vagabond, that bounces around the league. He began that trend. He wants to cut that trend off. and he wants to prove that what his reputation was coming out of college, that he can live up to that. And it's a tough decision, because if you let him go and then he goes to another team and he lives up to it, then, you know, people will be killing Scott Perry and he'll be shooting himself in the foot. You know, Scott Perry will be killing himself over that. You know, then if you keep him and he doesn't live up to it, then you're like, well, I guess as long as it's not a crazy contract, then it's okay. You know, it's okay. All we can do is wait and see. You know, all we can do is wait and see. But it causes a good dilemma for the Knicks. A good dilemma. If they think that Trey Burke really does. Listen, they must have thought something. We talked about it. I think I talked about it in a video, not a live stream, but a video a while back, a few months back. How the Knicks must have had some kind of plans for Trey Burke because of the timing of when they signed him, you know, and then brought him into the G League, and they didn't bring him there for nothing. You know, I talked about that in a video way back, and you can go back and check it out and look. You know, but they didn't bring him up for nothing. Somebody thinks something about him in the organization, of course. So we can't say it's out of the question that they don't view him as somebody who can play long term. I'm not gonna say it's out of the question. Eddie, you say he has good leadership skills. I don't know. Because I've seen some bad body language from him. And good leaders usually don't have that kind of bad body language. You know, I mean, obviously some players get upset and things happen, but, you know, he showed some really bad body language when he wasn't playing that I didn't like. And I don't think that's a leader, you know. If that's who you're talking about, Eddie, I'm not sure who you're talking about. You just said, you know, he has good leadership skills. If you're talking about Trey, I question it. Cruz, you say Scott Perry likes Trey Burke. It was his idea to bring him up. Yeah. And it was probably his idea to bring him in. You know. Piff, you say, what's a gunner? A gunner is somebody who shoots. They shoot all the time. That's a gunner. Eddie, you say yes, but players respect him, have to be in the locker room to really assess. I agree. You're right. You really gotta be in the locker room to assess it. You know, you can't tell from the outside. But like I tell my girls, from afar, like, you know, no one knows what's going on in the locker room or the conversations that are going on with players. So from afar, your body language means a lot. Because Trey Burke isn't just playing for the New York Knicks right now. He's playing for every team in the league. And every team in the league, when they watch him on television, when they watch him in video, they don't know what's going on in the locker room either. They don't know how he's reacting or meshing or dealing with other players either. All they can do, at least at first glance, the only thing that they can do is view him from a distance. And when you show bad body language, that shows from a distance. The things going on in the locker room, they don't show from a distance, but your body language does. So when you have other scouts, general managers, coaches looking at you from a distance and you show that bad body language, now they have questions about it. Now they can always call up Scott Perry and say, hey, you know, what was he like in the locker room and those type of things, because they have those connections. But that body language means a lot. Dark, you're right. His body language is because the team isn't good. Right. But if you're a leader, you've got to have that body language in control. Because to me, that if we were winning, I think he would have the same body language because that's part of his nature. Now, I think, I don't want to say that definitively. I think that's part of his nature, just from what I see. Is it something you can change? Of course you can. You can be aware of it and you can say, you know what, let me get my body language together. Because I've seen a lot of players in the league that play for a good team and they still have bad body language. Put their head down soaking and whining and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And, bad body language, it doesn't look good and it sends a bad message to those looking from the outside. It sends a bad message to your teammates too. Yeah, I think KP has good body language. For the most part, I don't see KP soaking. You're going to have some times when, you get upset, right? But I've seen Trey Burke, when the team is doing well, playing well in the game, and everyone else is celebrating, and he's sitting there with a puss on his face because he's not playing. That's bad. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Right? If you're part of a team and you're not playing, but your team is winning the game or does something well and you don't celebrate with the team, or you sit there with your head down or whatever it is, that's bad body language. That's bad. See, I don't know what some people are considering bad body language, right? You say CP3 has similar body language. I don't know if he does. I see CP3 get upset if things aren't going right, something like that. But I don't see him pout. I don't see him sit at the end of the bench and pout with his face in his hands like this because he's not in the game. You know what I'm saying? I don't see him do that. That's what I mean by bad body language. You're not playing, so you pout. Somebody says something to you, so you get pissed off and shrug them off or do whatever. That's just my assessment of Trey Burke. But I think if I see it, and I know other people have seen it, coaches and scouts in the league see it too. And that makes a difference, especially when you are when you're not playing, when you don't have a long-term contract with a team and you're playing so that you're showcasing yourself to other teams in the league. You've got to be pristine. You got to have everything right. Now, I just seen somebody say, that I hate Trey Burke. That's wrong. That's wrong. You must have joined this late because I gave him all his accolades in the beginning. I'm just saying what I see. I said I hope he does well, and I do. I hope he does very well. But that's just something. That's my assessment of Trey Burke. I see Trey Burke as a guy who has bad body language. 1 second, Tony. I got to fix something here. I got my headphones stuck. All right, we back in business. That's my assessment of Burke, though. And I think that if he wants to be successful in the league, somebody needs to let him know. Somebody needs to tell him. Check your body language. Maybe they have. Ace, you know what? You're right. I'm still not convinced that he's a long-term starter in this league. Do I say give him a chance? They're giving him a chance right now. Do I hope that he can be? Yes, I hope that he can be. I do. You know what I'm saying? I hope that he can be. But I'm allowed to have my opinion. And I have my reasons for believing that he's probably better off being a bench player. I liken him, like I said before, I liken him to a Nate Robinson, or I kind of agree with Emmanuel when he said he's kind of like Isaiah Thomas, we'll see if Isaiah Thomas is going to be a long-term starter in this team. Obviously, the Boston Celtics let him go for a reason because they didn't believe that he was a long-term starter in this league. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of feel the same way about Trey Burke. So, Tony, what's popping, man?
Yo, Black is time. What up, chat? Isaiah Thomas, I think they let him go just because they didn't want to pay him. I'm gonna say that. I won't go as far as to say because they didn't think he was a full-time starter.
I mean, but see, that's my thing. I think they didn't want to pay him because I think if you felt like he was going to be that player that can get you there long term, I think they would pay him because they're going to pay Kyrie.
I agree. Listen, I agree. I'm just going to say if he wasn't demanding max, I think it would have been a different story. But I will agree with you. I will say that Burke is probably best suited as a 6-man long term. But I wouldn't mind riding with him next year until the market opens up with Kyrie or I forget who else is free. But I you know what I mean, I go that route.
Yeah,
I rock with Frank.
And I still think Trey Burke is kind of an unknown too. So, if you give him next year, you say, you start off with him next year. You pencil him in as that starter for next year and say, let's see what you can do. We're going to give you a chance. I would say he at least deserves it, right?
Yeah, his contract it's a minimum contract. So whether they decide to keep him for the year, it's the minimum. So it's probably like $1 million or a little over $1 million. I want to touch on a couple things. I got some notes.
All right.
So since 1983-84, only 4 players had 42 points, 12 assists, and 2 turnovers or less.
Okay. Well, who's that?
Allen Iverson, Kevin Johnson, Michael Jordan, and Isaiah Thomas. The real Isaiah Thomas.
The real Isaiah Thomas. The original dude. original Isaiah. Yeah.
That's 4 players in over 20 years.
That's good company.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
good company.
That's good company.
Since 2015, only 4 times has it been 42 points and 12 assists. All 4 times it was James Harden.
Okay. That's good company.
That's not including the turnovers, but
Right.
But that's just to give you an idea of what Burke did tonight. Yeah, he earned a chance. He earned a chance at least for next year.
Yeah,
and we go for the defensive big man. That's what we need.
If he if he can continue to play this way, I'm not saying drop 42 a night, obviously, you know what I'm saying, but if he can continue to play at a high level, you gotta give him a chance at least. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can give him a chance, it takes a little bit of more pressure off of Frank. Lets Frank develop a little bit more while you're paying. Let's put it like this: Burke is going to be cheaper than your draft pick.
Yes, absolutely.
He's going to be cheaper than your draft pick next year, most likely.
So, at least for 1 year.
At least for 1 year, right? At least for 1 year, he's probably going to be cheaper than your draft pick.
Let me say this real quick for all the people that do want to draft a point guard, and for all the people that are talking about Trey Young's a gunner and a shot nut or whatever. People say the same exact thing about Trey Young. Yet he led the league, led the country in assists as well as points. And you can't be a shot nut having 12 assists. I'm sorry. I don't know. However you want to call it, there's no way you a shot nut and you got 12 assists. If you accidentally get an assist, you're not gonna get 12 by mistake.
Right. That's true. That's true.
So,
yep.
For the people who want Trey Young, we might as well rock with Burke right now. He's experienced. Trey Young is gonna have to go through the same problems and issues that Trey Burke already been through.
That's true.
So,
and
he's now.
If
he's ready.
And the thing is, one of the big things about getting a draft pick is that you get somebody who can hopefully perform at a high level, but you're not paying him a lot of money, right? Trey Burke, if he continues to perform at a high level, and he's on a cheap guaranteed contract, you're not getting a draft pick because he's not as young, but he's still young. He's 25 years old. You know what I mean? So, that really does give you a whole lot of value. A lot of value. So...
It gives you trade value if you really want to go in a different direction.
Right. It gives you some trade value.
I mean, he could potentially get us a first this coming summer.
You never know. You never know. Now, when we look at the salaries, it doesn't show anything for next year. But I believe he's got a non-guaranteed contract. If he has a non-guaranteed contract for next year, I believe the Knicks can trade that.
Yeah,
they can,
absolutely.
So they could trade that during the draft.
Yes, absolutely.
And
that team will have the option to, just like Jack had the non-guarantee, and it's up until a certain point.
Right.
And they'll have that day to make the decision whether to keep him for the rest of the season or to cut him.
Or to cut him. Yeah. See,
so absolutely.
And,
so he potentially
the
summer.
Right. One of the things that makes me feel like Trey Burke is not a starting point guard is I feel like he's got to get too many dribbles off to get his shot. Right. So there's a lot of possessions where Trey Burke is just dribble. And I don't think a good point guard does that. That's one of my biggest knocks. Say that again?
Isaiah Thomas is his ceiling.
Maybe. Yeah. Right.
That's he could be. Isaiah on the Celtics is the best that Burke could be for you.
Okay.
It's only but so much you can do with limited height.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
So
and like the guys back in the day, like the original Isaiah Thomas, when they were small and Iverson was small, shooting guards were a little smaller then too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Guys weren't as long, and you didn't have as many. You didn't really have those long. You didn't have Greek freaks. That can play the 1 through the 5.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's a little bit different when you talk about little guys nowadays. Huh?
If you were 7 foot, you was a center.
Yeah, no matter what. And if you wasn't playing center and you wasn't going in the post, people like, what are you doing? Get off my team. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. Hey.
Go ahead. Let me just touch up 2 things real quick. When we was talking about yesterday, swapping down and getting those 2 picks potentially. Mm-hmm. If that's somehow a possibility, or we get a second first round pick, a sleeper, Mitchell Robinson, kid who's supposed to play for West Kentucky, and I don't know what happened. Something happened with I guess there was a legend he got paid, or one of his family members was a assistant coach and he left, so he didn't play all year. But he was up there, right there with Bamba and Ayton and all the bigs.
Yeah.
So he's a sleeper, and Michael Porter Jr.'s brother, he's another sleeper for me.
Okay.
But Yeah, shout out to the chat. Like it's time.
Definitely. No doubt, man. Thank you for the call, bro.
One.
One, baby. Emmanuel, what's popping, bro?
What's good, bro?
How you feeling?
I'm all right. I'm chilling.
All right. So what you think, man? What you think about Trey Burke?
Trey Burke, the reason why I'm comparing Trey Burke to Isaiah Thomas is for people that wasn't reading what I was saying on the chat was because what was Isaiah Thomas, he was labeled also a scorer. He was a short dude that was a scorer, and he was an in-between guy. People didn't really know whether to label him a starter or a sixth man. That was a debate about Isaiah Thomas, and that's the same thing that's going on with Trey Burke that everybody's arguing about now. Whether is he a starter or is he a sixth man, right?
Right.
Another thing about Isaiah Thomas was his defense, but Trey Burke plays way better defense than Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas was a liability on defense, and that caused a lot of turmoil in the Boston locker room because a lot of people were covering for him defensively, and that was a problem for him when he got to the Cavs, primarily with his hip, when he was messed up from the hip also.
Right.
So that was another thing because Brad Stevens, he was smart enough to have somebody there to take his coverages to cover for him.
Right.
So, also another thing was the money. The money was an issue for him as well.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to pay a guy that they wasn't sure what he was. Right. They didn't know why I'm gonna pay for a dude that's undersized that I don't know exactly what he is. Am I gonna overpay for a sixth man? Is this guy a bona fide starter in this league? Nobody really knew.
Exactly.
So that's why they didn't want to pay him. That's why I'm comparing him to Isaiah Thomas.
I'm with you. Right. I'm with you. I don't think anyone's doubting that Trey Burke can play and that he can, that he can ball. But there's just a lot of things. He's a better defender than Thomas, but there's a lot of things about him that, you can see that he's probably better off coming off the bench.
Exactly. I feel like on a good team, he's not a starter. He's a sixth man.
He's a sixth man. And look, there's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it. That's what I'm saying. But then there's other people that are saying that he's a starter. And that's the same debate Isaiah Thomas had.
Yeah, right.
And you know what? That's the same problem he's gonna have now when he goes for his contract this offseason.
Exactly.
Because there's gonna be teams that are gonna say, nah, he's only a sixth man. There's gonna be other teams that are probably gonna say, all right, we could use him as a starter. But nobody really knows. He has no defined, there's no real depth. He's not really defined. There's no real. You know what I'm saying? People they're not sure. They don't really know.
Right.
So that's the same problem that Trey Burke has right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if people are seeing that. Also, another thing is that people are calling him a chucker. Yeah, he's a scorer. But today, I don't feel like he necessarily was a chucker because his shots came in the flow of the offense.
He shot 60% too.
Yeah, it was 60%, but it was in the flow of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
So necessarily, he wasn't taken away from the offense, really. And another thing is that people got to really, really look at it like, yo, we don't really have that much of anybody that's really scoring right now. So if the dude is putting up 40%, he's putting up 40 points on 60% of shooting, what really can you complain about?
Right.
On top of that, he got the 12 assists.
Right. Yeah. It's a tough game. It's a tough game to complain about him.
Exactly. Yeah. This is not a game that today you really can't complain about him being a chucker. If you want to do it another day, All
Yeah.
right, go ahead by all means. But today, you can't really complain about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't.
People gonna, you know, they're gonna troll. They're gonna say whatever they're gonna say. But I feel like today is not really a game that you could put on him.
Right.
'Cause
Even though they lost and Kemba Walker got off, I mean, it's gonna happen. You can't put it on them.
Yo, without him playing like he did that second half, we wouldn't even.
Yeah.
Without him and Beasley in that third quarter, in that second half, where would we be? Like, the game would have never been what it was.
Right. Right.
So I don't really understand. Like, you know what I'm saying? People gonna bitch and they probably gonna say that I'm wrong, but that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, yo, he's in that same spot. Like, I think that's gonna be a thing. That's gonna be a problem for his career. Like,
Yeah.
he's gonna be looked at as a sixth man, and I think that's right. That's the right evaluation.
I think so too. You know, and there's been 6 men in the league that score 40 points in a game.
And on top of that, you can't really evaluate him this season. That's another thing that I was saying. Like,
Yep.
he's you don't extend his non-guarantee until midway through next season, or until next season is, or right before the season is over, because you want to see what our team's gonna do. How are they gonna play him once they know that he's a part of the game plan? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to see how he's gonna react to the game plan.
Exactly.
So you got to know. So you got to know how he's gonna react. You got to evaluate that.
Yeah.
Depending on that, that's how you know what's his worth. You can't pay a dude before knowing what he actually is. Right now, you don't know what he actually is because he was coming off the bench. He only has 2 games being a starter, so it's gonna look more skewed than what it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have that curve. So people need to realize that also. So they need to take a back seat on that. They're gonna have to wait until midway through next season, or until they evaluate, until he has enough games under his belt that people know what he's gonna do.
And teams are game planning for him and all those things. Yep.
They have a strategy for exactly.
Yep.
And then you got to see, and then you also got to see what he looks like with KP.
Exactly.
So there's a lot. There's a lot to unfold, unpackage. The Knicks got it.
For sure. And you learn a whole lot about a player when you 20, 30 games into the season, and now you play the team twice, right? In that second game, now they're like, okay, this is what we're gonna do against Burke, or teams. Then other teams see what they did against Burke. Then they say, okay, we're gonna do the same thing. That's when you see what a player is, because now that player has to rise to the occasion. They have to overcome the different defenses that are going against them, the game planning against them, the strategies that are coming out, that other coaches are putting in the game against him. He's got to overcome that. That's when you really find out, can that player be, continue to play at that level.
Exactly. You got to see what he's going to react to, how he's going to react to the game plan.
Yeah.
I mean, to the scouting report.
Exactly.
So that's definitely a thing, and that's why I don't think they should draft a point guard right now, because either way you have Burke for a season. He's only 25, turning 26.
Yep.
So regardless, you could have him for another 4 years.
Yep.
So it's like we don't. That's not a dire need for us at this point.
Right.
Frank guards 4 positions.
Yep.
So I think we're solid right now on point.
Okay.
I mean, for at least until next season. Until next season, we good.
Mm-hmm.
Because next season, either way, we're not going anywhere next season. KP's coming back. He's supposed to come back at the halfway mark.
Right.
Even though they're saying that he's going to be ready for this. His trainer says that he's going to have him ready for the season opener, but that's not going to happen. The team is not going to. They're not going to rush him back. They're going to give him. They're going to work him in.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're gonna make a playoff run next year. So next year is another development year. to set the pieces for the following year after that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you know what I'm saying. Everything is an evaluation right now. We're just seeing where we at.
Yeah.
And what we have.
Yeah.
And also for one last thing.
Mm-hmm.
For the people that were complaining about he was a chucker today. A lot of those people are the same people that like Trey Young. And the numbers that he put up today were similar to what Trey Young does in college. So you telling me that this dude puts up 40 and 12, and Trey Young almost does the same thing in college, but you don't call Trey Young a chucker, but you calling him a chucker? Like, come on, don't pick and choose.
Good points.
Like,
Good
be
point.
consistent. Be consistent.
Good point. Good point.
So I just wanted to get at that, and I'm gonna leave it alone because I probably other people calling or whatever.
All right, man. Appreciate the call. A lot of good points there.
All right,
sure.
no doubt.
All right, man. Peace. A lot of good points. A lot of good points, people. And I'm sure I know who's Mark. I see you going crazy over there. Go ahead and call in, man. You know, but you know, you was calling in while somebody else is already on the line. But I mean, I want to hear what you got to say. No, you're too late, who's Mark? Too late. My man, Ron Cleveland, what's up, bro? Let me get you live. I can hear you. Okay. You're live now. What's popping, man?
Man, hey, I ain't been on the chat in a minute, but what's up to the chat?
Appreciate
everybody. Appreciate what you're doing.
All right.
Man, I'm looking at everything with our Knickerbockers. Trey, I love what he's doing, and I remember talking to you, and I told you he's a scorer.
Mm-hmm.
He's a scorer. What is the one thing you need in the second unit?
Got to have that punch. You need a scorer.
You got to have a scorer. Most teams, when you look at their second unit, what hinders them? Not having a bona fide go-get-it bucket getter in that second unit. And a good comparison I've heard in other, people speaking about it. Jamal Crawford is a good comparison, height-wise, but the ability to score and to be not just scoring, but being efficient.
Right.
Trey is efficient. I love him. What I say, we ride out with him, ride out with Ntilikina, and I'm gonna tell you what, watching Ntilikina tonight, it sickened me in that second half when he got fouled out, because I was like, you know what? I'm watching the kid. I'm like, he's gonna put it together tonight. He's going for a career high. I think the ref called a bunch of bogus calls on him, especially the one where he dunked. I'm like, that's a natural motion.
Oh, man. Right.
That was they stole that from him.
Yeah, man. Frank played with a different look in his eye tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a different look in his eye tonight.
On.
Yeah. He played with a different, it's like he was mad. 'Cause even when he knew that he had, 1 second. Even when he knew that he had 5 fouls, he still was like, you know what? I don't care. I'm playing defense. I'm going to get mine. I'm playing hard. There was just a different look in his eye tonight. I'm not exactly sure, I don't know what happened in the locker room. Maybe someone said something to him. Maybe he was mad. Maybe he was mad because he got taken out of the starting lineup. I don't know.
And I can see that. And that's my fault with Jeff. And I'm gonna get on him before I get off this call. But when I look at Frank tonight, I said, okay, remember a few weeks back, everybody's been saying it, from the chat to you to all the callers, man. And this is why, and I may as well go ahead and get into it. This is why Jeff is gonna be gone. I wasn't able to get on a few nights ago, you know what I mean? And I looked at it. You look how Willie played in that game against us, the first game against us since he left.
Right.
17 points, body looking chisel. He looking like an NBA player instead of somebody who eating donuts, not playing. And I'm like, okay. Or you mean to tell me Clifford got him motivated? The boy is balling, put up this against us? Okay. front office looking at this, and I don't think the front office decided to trade him. I think Jeff went to them and said, "Hey, we need to move him."
Think so?
Yeah. So they move him. Now you look at the fact with Trey. You had Trey since you got him from the D League. He was killing the D League. You bring him up. You bring Moutier in there. Moutier is not better than Trey Burke. Everybody know that. And then even with Frank, when everybody looked at it, Frank and Trey played. Their synergy was great. They were feeding off each other. You got one play, and when I look at Trey defense, that was a knock on him coming out of college. That kid plays defense. It's no longer a question whether or not he plays defense.
Right.
He plays defense, but he's not a starter. He's not a starter because that kind of offense, you can't have that in your starting point guard because of the fact you need a point guard that's going to average at least 6 to 7 assists a game. Even you look at how many assists did he finish with tonight? I didn't see his total.
Yeah, finished with 12 tonight.
12.
He finished with 12 tonight.
In overtime with how many minutes?
I think he played 40 minutes. 40 minutes.
40
tonight.
minutes with 12. So you figuring in the regular quarters, he probably would have finished with about 6.
No. I think he had 12 at the end of the regulation, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he had 12 at the end of regulation. Yeah.
But that's an anomaly for him.
You know,
he's not a high assist player. He's more of a scorer.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard if he continues to do this, especially against bona fide point guards and against decent teams. It's going to be hard to say. It's going to be hard for Jeff to not get, or if Jeff is still here, it's going to be hard for any coach to not give him a chance at starting next year. It's going to be hard.
And Jeff's going to be fired. He's going to be fired because of the fact you let Hernan Gomez get away. You let Trey sit on the bench, and you know what I mean? And if he would have started playing him sooner, who knows what our win total would have been? Because when you can score, that's going to put pressure on the defense on the opposing team. And this Trey Young debate, I'm tired of hearing about that. Trey Young, we don't need that. We need a starting small forward. That's what we need. Like I said before, that kid, the kid behind him, the kid coming off the bench. Mm-hmm. Oh, my goodness.
I agree.
Williams, he's our bench player. He's our bench small forward, but we need a starting small forward, and we're ready. Yeah. I say we ride with Ntilikina, and Ntilikina, remember the report saying that he's going to grow another inch. And I agree with your assessment earlier, what you said. You said that he's a Grant Hill type player.
Yeah, I say if he gets 6'7",
you hit it on point, man.
Yeah, if he grows to be 6'7", I'm not saying he's going to be Grant Hill, but if he grows to be 6'7", he could be that kind of guy.
Offensive assertiveness, but the point of being able to do multiple things at that height.
Right. Exactly. Yep. Hey, Ryan, thank you for the call. Man, I know some other people trying to get on.
Yeah, man. Right. Hey, I ain't been on in a few, man, but hey,
man.
I'm listening and I'm watching, man. Hey,
for sure. Always welcome.
And I appreciate what you said, man. Them tanks and wanksters need to go to bed, man. Put them to sleep.
Yeah, it is. That's right.
Hey, if we ain't winning, we ain't playing. You don't play to lose. You play to win.
That's what it's all about right there. All right, man. Peace, man.
Yes, sir. Next we'll be back.
All right. One caller after another. Hey, Mark, give me 1 second. Before you get on.
All right, go ahead.
I'm sure you guys see on the screen, and Mark sounds angry. Sounds angry right now, but I know you guys see on the screen. Trey Burke's contract is guaranteed for this season, and it's non-guaranteed for next year at $1.8 million. So he has certain escalator dates for next year. All right, he has certain escalator dates for next year, and if Burke is on the roster at those dates, then portions of his 2018-19 contract become guaranteed. So there you have it for Trey Burke for next year. And Who knows? Mark, what's up, man?
All right, yo, hold on. Because these callers messed up my momentum, so I gotta gather that back now. Tonight, this is. You ever sit back and you watch the Knicks game, right? And like, we in the game, we tied it up. We right there to just close it out, right?
Uh-huh.
What happens last play? Why are we dribbling till the shot clock is going down? Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that?
I agree with you.
Why is he dribbling 15 seconds out the clock when you're supposed to go in those scenarios? I cared about the game because we did all that work to come back to lose like this. And what's crazy was I'm sitting back, I said, now y'all gave Kimba the green light to come in overtime. I seen it. Because after Frank got pulled out the game, because that's why Kimba wasn't going. That's why Kimba wasn't hot tonight. So y'all watch, it was Frank on him. And as soon as Kimba started to smell that Trey Burke couldn't guard him, not one bit. I'm watching Kimba smiling. Anytime he squared up with Trey Burke. Anytime. Listen, I like Trey Burke. He put up 40 tonight. Corey Brewer put up 50 in the game before. Trey Burke is a third wing guard. Yeah, he's good enough to be maybe second, but he's a good wing guard. 12 assists. Someone tell me where he had a great 12 packing assists. Those are empty assists because you see when he gets the ball, this is something I want y'all to understand about point guards and the ability to make the offense score off a hockey assist. He goes off the pick. I see this all the time with Cornette. Cornette be dead wide open. When he comes off the pick, he goes in instead of just passing it back out, he takes a few seconds. He's supposed to pass it right back out. As soon as he gets the pick and roll, he takes so long to get the pick and pop shot. Every time I'm watching Cornette open, and no one could debate with me. He's open all of the time. He's a scoring guard. He's not the type of guard that we need. We don't need that. We have young players that need to feel and touch the ball. That ball in overtime, that ball was not moving. It was Trey Burke, pick and roll, and these teams was just sitting there, just blitzing it. I like Trey Burke. We can keep him for now. He's good, but he's not. It's not this guy that we're talking about. He's good. I understand y'all guys like him and et cetera. But no, there's a reason why Utah gave up on him. Because he had a chance to show himself in Utah and couldn't do it. I understand his second chances, you come back, but hey, Knicks give a lot of people second chances. And then when they go somewhere else, they play. You won't even think about them. It's just because he's in New York and he's doing this. Now, my second point is,
but hold up. Hey, Mark, hold up. Let me back up with your first point because I was talking about that earlier.
Yes,
why I do not think that you hit a point as to why I don't think he's a starter. He holds the ball too long to get his points.
He doesn't let you see with Frank, what I like about him? He commands the offense. If y'all watch him, he commands the offense and the ball moves. Even if y'all want him to be aggressive, but the players touch the ball. Like you have to have young players touch the ball so they can assimilate to the offense, so they can know their spots and when to pick, when to roll, when to cut. None of that happens. There's so many plays where players is just on the wing and then the defense is just the defense is set. You don't want your point guard to allow the opposing team to have defensive set because Charlotte is a good defensive team, but they just can't score like other teams. But they are a top-notch defensive team, and I'm just watching the wings on. They're not moving. It's just Trey Burke. That's what happened in overtime. That's why we lost because of him. Because he could have ended if he kept kept going. But no, it's that typical basketball that I hate to see from point guards. I hate it. Now my second argument. Yeah. Listen, I wouldn't pay Isaiah Thomas close to $170 million. No, I wouldn't.
Nope.
This bad rap that Isaiah Thomas is a bench player. He is a quality starting player on the right team. On the right team, surrounded with pieces. Surrounded with pieces, Isaiah Thomas is a go as a starter compared to a lot of these point guards out here. Because listen, man,
we'll see.
What he did for Boston, you do not put up 30 points. That's not an aberration. No, that's not. Because before that, he was 20-6. He was a 20-6 guard. I'm personally not for my team, but when you watch him, he's way more dynamic than Burke. He shoots the ball way better than Burke. He commands defense. Like, I gotta understand something. Trey Burke don't command defense as a point guard. He doesn't. No, he doesn't. Not like Isaiah Thomas. He does not. He does not. Because you don't put up 30 points as a 5'8" guard in this league when you have defense as great as it is. You do. That's not an aberration. Let me tell you something. If LeBron wanted to play with Isaiah Thomas, he would have stayed. LeBron did not want to play with Isaiah Thomas. He did not like the trade. You go into the news, he did not like the trade. He still wanted Kyrie. He did not want to play with Isaiah Thomas. They got to stop because if LeBron wanted to play with any player he wanted to play with, they would have stayed. So this whole notion with Isaiah Thomas is a bench player, no, he's a quality starting guard.
I don't know. Maybe he
does a lot of dynamic things.
Maybe he is. I'm not real sold on Isaiah Thomas either.
I'm not real sold on, but let me tell you something. He does a lot. He does things that a lot of Trae Young point guards can't do.
Okay.
And this is why he's still in the league. This is why he's still it's the money. You can't, when you associate $172 million, that kind of makes him look bad because you don't want to give him because of his size.
Of course.
But if you're telling me if you're going to pay, I'd rather pay him that $70 million that Tim Hardaway got to Isaiah Thomas.
I don't know. I wouldn't.
Bro,
I wouldn't. I don't like it.
Bro,
he's too small. He's too small for me.
Honestly, he's small, but I'm trying to compare something. I wouldn't pay him what I would pay Stephen Curry or what I would pay LeBron or Kevin Durant. To me, there's only about like 7 people in those leagues that should get those contracts. Only 7 of them that I believe that should get those contracts. But if you're talking about Isaiah Thomas as a quality basketball player, when you watch him and how he commands defense, I'm not paying Tim Hardaway $70 million and not pay him. I'm not paying Chris Middleton $70 million and not pay him. He just does something he just has his knack in the league. Yeah, you might not like it because he's small, but you can't deny what he does to defense.
I'll give you
he breaks down defense horribly.
I mean,
horribly.
He finds a way. Given his size, he finds a way to do what he could do.
Yeah, but that's not an aberration because he was on Phoenix. They was a winning team. They just didn't make it to the AFC. But they was an above 500 team. He's a quality guard.
Yeah, but there's a reason why people keep letting him go, though.
No, there's a reason why people let him go. Yeah, I understand with the locker room and everything, but I'm talking about from a pure skill. When I'm watching a basketball player, and when I watch him, it's either you do it or you don't. You get what I'm saying?
I got you.
Because a lot of people don't put up 30 points. You don't put up 30 points the way he did. Put up 30 points like that. Because when you look at that Celtics team, the offense was predicated on him. He had to create for all of those players because all of those players cannot score off the dribble. They are set shooters. So for him to do what he did in Boston and had a bigger impact, y'all gotta understand something. He went to the Eastern Conference Finals, bro. As a 5'8" guard. That was Boston's only offensive power. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're gonna see what the rest of his career is like. You know, we'll see what the market is like for him because he's gonna be a free agent this year.
Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah.
No, look, Boston and LeBron messed up his whole market. Like,
I mean,
listen,
but if he's a baller, somebody is gonna give him a chance to rock.
Somebody's gonna pick him up, but he's not. He was never, even if Boston didn't want to pay him, he was never, ever going to get that amount of money from any team. You just seen it. No team was gonna pay that money at all. At all. His market, the way he played, called for that contract, but that don't necessarily mean that he's gonna get the contract. But his play as a player, and when you evaluate a player and he does something like that, it earns a contract like that. That type of player deserve a contract like that. But I'm not gonna pay him. I wouldn't pay him $178 million. Yeah. And my last soliloquy before I go, I got big beef. All right,
well, let's make it quick.
I'm about to make it quick. Let me tell y'all something. This y'all guys banging on this Kevin Knox guy. That whole Kentucky team needs to stay in college. They're not ready. Because if y'all watch college basketball, they're not ready for the big leagues. That Kevin Knox, no. And like I was saying, I don't know how y'all people are dissing my boy Trey Young, because let me tell y'all something. It took Stephen Curry 3 years in college to become Stephen Curry. And it's taking this one boy to put up 27 and 10. Do you like? And this thing that Trey Young is a trucker? No, he's not a trucker, because if you watch his game, he's a pass first guard. But because he plays with a whole bunch of lowlifes, players, he has to shoot.
That's rough on him. You being rough on him. Jeez.
No. This is how I play, because people could just watch the game, but don't really watch the game. And for a 6'2" guard as small as y'all think he is, you don't put up 27 and 10 and lead the nation.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Mark, I gotta rock, man. We got some other people trying to call in.
Lucky, I need like another 10 minutes, because I was on the road tonight.
Yeah, I know. You had to put it in the chat, man. Put it in the chat.
And Raymond Felton is better than Trey Burke.
All right, man. Peace out, man. Peace out.
Yeah.
Woo. My man Mark hitting them hard tonight. Yeah, well, so before I forget, I just want to give a shout out to German Warfare. It hit me up with the super chat. I appreciate it. He said, what's up, big bro? He thinks Burke is a good 6-man. And then my man Corey Moore, I want to give a big shout out to you. Thank you for the super chat. Once I get this chance, I'm going to read it. You say, Corey Moore said, Trey Burke is a good long-term option for a spark plug type of guy. I question his viability as a long-term option for a starting point guard. Yep, that's the whole debate tonight, my man. The whole debate. I don't even know if we're going to get to anything else. We'll probably just jump on it real quick. But, yeah, that's a big debate going on. So now we got my man Yusuf on the line. A lot of people trying to get in. Yusuf, what's popping, bro?
Oh man, not much, man. You know, same old same. Just got off listening to Mark go off, and mad respect to Mark.
Yeah,
passionate. He wants that gritty New York, big heart. Doesn't matter how big you are, how fast, none of that. Just he wants players that play hard.
Yeah, I'm with him.
But that's the emotional pick, and I'm gonna debate some of the points he made about IT.
Okay.
If you don't mind, so
go ahead, go for it.
IT, don't get me wrong, Isaiah, little guy, big heart, everything you name it. But the Celtics never missed a step without him. So what does that tell me? That tells me Brad Stevens' system, it has very little flaws, especially when we saw only glimpses of his defensive incapabilities. So he wasn't able to really play defense, but they masked it. You know what I mean? Bad breath still smells like bad breath, even if you got gum in your mouth.
Okay.
You feel me? So at the end of the day, they were able to put him in a system and kind of hide him on defense. That's what a lot of teams do that. But it's even worse when you're, 5'10"? Like, I seen him defend a shot on Dirk, and I think he touched his elbow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And Dirk has a shot where he doesn't really get off the ground that much.
Right.
And I'm saying that's besides the point. But what I'm trying to say is there's guys who are not that great on defense, but they're called capable defenders, as in I'm gonna play defense when I want to.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's IT, who
like Melo, right?
Yeah,
capable. He
He
can do it when he wants to.
And he has the size. He's got the tools. He can do whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. If he put that effort in, but he's last 2 days school, doesn't want to put in that effort. So what does that really tell me? That tells me he's undersized and can't play D. So he's not really who you think he is. He's not that nice.
Yeah, I've never been sold on Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah,
being the long-term starting point guard for a championship contending team. It's just so hard for those small guys to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know what?
With today's NBA,
exactly. Salute to them. Because right now we're in an age of you got to be a 6'7" wing, guard 1 to 5, hit threes, create space, create a shot, dribble, pass out of the double team. You got to do everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And on the other point about him wanting, preference is preference, don't get me wrong. And this is not an attack on Mark by any stretch. But a 25-year-old Tim Hardaway Jr. got the going rate for shooting guards that were playing at that level. I would say, if anything, he was the bottom of what was available or what's out there, right? The top of the league in terms of shooting guards and, like, the bottom of the barrel in terms of who's deserving of, like, say 15 million plus. He's on that lower end. But me personally, I really wanted Dion Waiters because I know he was available, but Miami got him, showed him the rings. Here's 50 million. See you later. So 25-year-old Tim Hardaway Jr., 29-year-old Isaiah Thomas, undersized, and all of this.
Right.
Give me Tim Hardaway Jr. every day of the week, 2 times on Sunday over Isaiah. But that's just me.
Yeah. And we'll see where Isaiah's career is going to go.
He's going to get paid from somebody, but I don't think it's going to be that much.
I'm not sure. Teams are
cheap this year.
Yeah.
The books are tight.
They're tight. And for so many years, teams have been overpaying for players. They are really, really conscious nowadays. Really, really conscious about who they're paying. 2
years ago,
they are not. And
2 years ago, they screwed up the whole landscape of the NBA when it comes to all these deals. Tyler Johnson got $50 million.
Right. So many people got overpaid. Teams are like, it's not happening.
Do that again. Exactly.
It's not happening.
And if you look at what's available in terms of, like, the free agents, if they are going to spend money, they're going to break the bank on guys that are worth it. So if you look at who's available this summer, it's a bunch of 1+1 guys, right? The KDs, the LeBrons, the Paul Georges. Don't look at those guys as free agents because all they're doing is leveraging their star power and going, you know what? 1+1. 1+1. 1 year, player option. 1 year, player option. Opt out, get more money. Those are not free agents. 2019, those are the, you know what I mean? Although some guys might just end up staying where they are, right? The Clays, Kyries, the Kawhis. But you never know. Especially with what's going on with Kawhi right now. Tony Parker came out and said, his injury is not that bad. I've had worse.
Did he? I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Steven Jackson went off on him today.
Wow.
Went off. Wow. Steven Jackson lost it on him. But that's besides the point. Just let that marinate. I'm trying to plant the seed in the chat early. Kawhi, come to New York. You don't have to say much. You just got to be there.
Honestly, I don't think Kawhi is the kind of guy that like to be in a big city like New York. I think he's too. I don't know. I don't think he'd like to be here.
You know what? With a little bit of media training, I don't know. Who knows? So. But I won't hog up too much of your time. Whatever Mark said had me a little.
Yeah, all right, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, because I got another person on the line right now. The line is hot tonight.
The guy that like to be in a big city like.
Yusuf, hold on 1 second. Yusuf, I didn't mean to. I meant to add the call in. Yusuf, my bad. I meant to add the call in. So who I got? I got Mr. Moore on the line.
Who knows?
What's going on, man? Turn me down in the back.
Yeah, all right, man.
So what's poppin', man?
Line is hot tonight. Yo, got it like to be in the big city.
Yeah, I need you to turn that down in the back, Mr. Moore. Who's this? This Corey?
Yeah, give me a second.
Well, I don't know what. Yeah. You got me turned down, Corey. All right, my man Corey, what's poppin', man?
Hey, man. I just want to call in. Long time listener, man. Just first time caller.
Appreciate it. Appreciate the call, bro.
No worries, man. I hear a lot of people talking about, like, I know the topic of conversation is Trey Burke. You know, like I said earlier in the super chat, he's a good.
You got me turned down, Corey.
Long-term spark plug player. He's not the type of player that we can rely on to be a starting point guard.
Okay.
And on a lot of people in the chat are talking about Kevin Knox versus Mikal Bridges versus Trae Young versus insert name, right? I honestly think the most viable option for our team at this point is a wing player who can be versatile, right? Kevin Knox, he's at the 3 right now, but looking at him, he looks more of like a 4 in the league versus a 3.
Okay.
He just doesn't have the lateral quickness to defend the more athletic 3 like Giannis or LeBron or KD.
So then who do you want to see then us take at the 3?
I mean, I think a lot of people would agree with me, MPJ, but he's not falling to number 9.
Right.
You know,
that's probably out the question.
Yeah, he's gone. Like he's off the board at that point. At that point, our most realistic options, and my personal favorite would be Mikal Bridges.
Okay.
Right? He's a knockdown 3-point shooter. He's improved his shot creating game this year from last year. He's a versatile defender. He's got a 7-foot plus wingspan.
Hey, we can still hear that in the back. People can still hear it, I think. Corey?
Yeah, you got me?
Yeah, I said I think people can still hear the sound in the back if you could turn it down some more.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Okay, so Mikal Bridges, yeah, that's what most people really like Mikal Bridges. What are you thinking about? Let me ask you this. You know, we didn't get a chance to get in there yet. What do you think about Jeff Hornacek allowing Hardaway to draw up a play in the timeout?
I mean, I think the broadcasters touched on it a little bit while I was watching the game. I think it's a good way to spark interest, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, because we like to point out that they're professional athletes, right? But we have a profession, right? We go to our day-to-day jobs. Does that mean we're excited about it each and every day?
A lot of people probably are not.
Do something to keep us interested, right? So I think that's a good way to spark interest within the team, and then also generate camaraderie as well.
Yeah.
Do I think it's something that could or should be done like religiously going forward?
Oh no, of course not. Of course
you
not.
know, just doing it here and there, then why not?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Hey, Corey, man, appreciate the call. Man, I'm gonna try to move through people a little bit faster because the time is moving on.
I know you got people calling in. I don't want to be like other people, hogging up airtime. So
hogging it up. All right, man. Hey, I appreciate the call, bro. Hope to hear you call back.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, peace, man.
Later.
And so Hardaway drew up a play in the timeout, right? And I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. Let players have some interest. I tell you when I learned basketball the most, and when I became a better basketball player when I was playing, like religiously playing. When I coached is when I really really understood the game. when I was in high school, my high school coach, he held camps at the elementary school, and we would, every player on the team would have to go over and help coach on Saturdays, teach the kids, run camps, run drills, blah, 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 blah. And I learned so much by helping those younger players and teaching them and telling them things that they needed to do, reminding me to do it. As I'm telling them, I'm reminding myself to do it. And because I'm telling them to do it, I'm like, yeah, I got to make sure I'm doing this myself. When you teach, you are learning. And I think when a player is, drawing up plays and doing some things, not only is it fun, but then they're learning and they're building their IQ as well. I don't have a problem with it. I don't think anybody really has a problem with it. I just thought I'd pose the question to you. We needed something to put in here because I knew we was going to have a big debate about Trey Burke. So I needed something to move us along. So that's the reason why I put it up there. But what you guys think about it? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying Hardaway, but if you have a really, really good player like Chris Paul, a really, really smart player, not good player, smart player like Chris Paul, do you allow Chris Paul, LeBron James, to every once in a while draw up a play? Or maybe he wasn't even drawing up a play. Maybe he was just saying, look, when this happens, do this, or do that. Do you allow it? Tell me what you think. All right. I got my man Isaiah on the line.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up, Isaiah? What's popping, man?
Nothing much. Is the question about Tim Hardaway coaching, or is it like about players coaching?
Either one. Just what do you think about coaches allowing their players from time to time, especially if you have someone like a Chris Paul who is really has a high basketball IQ, to draw up a play or take over the huddle. How about that? Take over the huddle.
Oh. Yeah, I'm 100% with that because that's sometimes it's good to have that because at the end of the day, you're on the court, so you know what's going on. Mm-hmm. Like a coach, he's even though he's seen it, that's the thing, he's seen it. He's not in it, So sometimes it's good for a player to come and huddle the group together. And that shows real leadership, and showing them, like, you should be there, this, and that. And, it's okay for them to do it once in a while. Like, for example, like a Jared Jack or maybe a Tim Hardaway or even maybe a Frank. I wouldn't be mad if they did that. I'm with it. I don't discourage it.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm with it. Yeah, I think it's a good idea, especially, when you have, you got guys who are really intelligent guys on the floor. They know what they're doing, for sure. So, right. What's your take on Trey Burke? I know that's a short topic. I just needed something to switch it up for a second to give us something else to think about. You know what I mean? What's your take on Trey Burke, the Trey Burke situation?
Trey Burke, I 100% agree with you. With him, he's a Lou Williams, he's a Nate Robinson, he's a sixth man. My thing is you have to control Trey Burke. You have to control him. He's good he's good for a six-man role. At the end of the day, I think who's Mark said it. He was like, when Kimba was smiling when he was on him. And that's one of the biggest things with Trey Burke. And it's the same thing with Isaiah Thomas. They're short. They can't help it. They're short. I'm taller than Trey Burke. You know what I'm saying? I'm taller than Trey Burke. So it's like, I'm a regular dude. So it's like, when these other guys come in, these 6'4", 6'5" point guards, they're going to smile when they see Trey Burke. Because, Trey Burke can give you 40. It's no point that he can give you 40 and then the other guy got 50. Mm-hmm. I'm a strong believer that Frank will be the long-term starter because Frank has every tool necessary to be a starting point guard in this league. I'm a big fan of Frank. I've talked about it multiple times on here. Frank is the starter. Frank has a lot, and once everything clicks, it's gonna be really, really nasty. And a lot of these, I'm gonna call them the Frank haters on the chat. The Frank haters are gonna, really be like, "Damn, I can't believe we stole him at 8." But man, that's another day. But yeah, I believe Trey is a 6-man. And he's doing his thing right now, and it's a good thing. It's a good problem to have right now, but I don't believe him as a starter. I believe Frank should start. He should come off and Trey should come off the bench. And Moutier should stay away from the team. I'm not a big fan of Moutier, but, that's how I feel.
Okay. Yeah. Moutier was hurt tonight, so he didn't play. We're going to find out what happens when,
Oh. You know what's crazy?
Moutier played well last game. He didn't start. He played well.
Yeah,
he played well last game.
I definitely know what's crazy. I've been wanting to say this for a couple times, but I didn't get a chance to call. So I was watching a lot of stuff, and it came out that Jeff didn't want to start Moutier.
Right.
I learned Jeff didn't want to start Moutier. Scott Perry and either Scott Perry or Steve Mills or both of them, they told Jeff they want them to start him.
Okay.
And I learned that. I was like, that's very interesting. And again, that shows me what kind of guy Jeff is.
Yeah. Right.
And what's crazy? That could have been a test for Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been a test to be like, okay, so this guy's just going to really be a yes man the whole time he's here. Because, our real coach will be like, that's a good idea. We're going to put that in the suggestion box, but this is my team. These are the players you give me. I'm going to do what I want to do. And, I'm being honest, I think Jeff knows his time is done because now he doesn't care. He's starting Trey now, which he probably really wanted to do. Mm-hmm. But since they got Moutier, they pushed Moutier to start. And again, that's the kind of guy Jeff is, and Jeff's a nice guy, mm-hmm. but we don't need a nice guy. We need a coach.
and I hope that there's maybe somewhere along the line those reports are wrong, because I don't think that your front office should come down and tell the coach start that player, make sure this player gets 20 minutes. I just don't think the front office should do that. I think the front office needs to hire a coach that you entrust to run play the philosophy of basketball that you want to play, and then you let the coach do it. You manage the front office stuff, and then if the coach ain't getting the job done, then you say, okay, we're gonna go in a different direction. But I think you gotta let the coach coach. It's different than other businesses where the manager or the director can come in and say, okay, let's do it this way, or this is what I want done. And basketball is a little bit different. You got to let the coach have a little bit of freedom out there and run what they run, and get the guys that coach needs to be successful.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, hey, Isaiah, man, I'm a run. Who's Mark took up all the time, so I'm trying to make sure I can get some people in.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, for sure.
I just want to say it's my dad's birthday Thursday. He's the reason why I love the Knicks. He got me into the Knicks. That's my greatest hero, and I'm taking him to the Knicks game on Saturday to see the Pistons. That's my guy. So happy birthday to my dad.
For sure, man. Happy birthday to your father. Tell him the Nothing But Knicks chat said happy birthday, and enjoy the basketball game for real.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, man. Peace, bro.
Peace out, man.
Yeah, chat. We got a lot of call-ins, a lot of topics we hitting on tonight too. Who do I got on the line here? Who's this? Eddie, my man Eddie. What's popping, man? What's up?
Chilling. What's good?
What's good with you? I mean, you got your minutes. What's up?
Joe, everybody be talking about Trey. He had a great game today, but I don't think Trey's going to be the answer. So
So who do you think is the answer?
Frank.
You think Frank's the answer? So all right. So what's gonna happen with Trey?
I wouldn't keep him for 1.8. I wouldn't keep him for 1.8.
You wouldn't keep him for 1.8?
No.
That's not a lot of money. That's a drop in the bucket in the NBA.
You think so, man? I don't think so, bro. Things have changed. The trade market has changed. There's a lot of things that's changed out here. So I don't think it's plausible anymore.
I mean, that 1.8. I mean, you got rookies making more than 1.8 million. The rookie that's gonna come in next year is gonna make more than $1.8 million.
I think you could find another Trey Burke for $900,000.
For real? Who and where?
We just found him for $900,000.
Right. I mean, but the thing is, Trey Burke is not. It's not like he was just somebody walking off the street jumping into the NBA. You know what I'm saying? He was in the league and he was a decent draft pick.
I heard he was going to go to OKC. He was going to stay behind Russell, so he knew he couldn't go there.
Right.
He knew the Knicks needed a point guard. That's why he's getting this burn. You know what I'm saying? That's why he's getting this burn. Props. He had a great game today. The guy had 40 points, 12 dimes. He had a great game today. I wouldn't keep him for 1.8. We can get somebody at 900,000 that's just like him and keep it moving.
So tell me who are we getting for 900,000 that's gonna give you 40 in a game?
Coach, we just got Trey.
I know, but who else are we gonna get that does it?
There'll be somebody. Yo, Isaiah Thomas might be cheap,
but he's not gonna be $900,000. Isaiah Thomas is at least gonna be 5, 6, 7, 8 million a year.
So that's what you think Isaiah's worth? 6, 7, 8 mil?
Yeah, that's cheap. That's not a lot of money, dude.
Exactly.
You know what the salary cap is?
Yeah. Of course. That's what I'm telling you, bro.
Salary cap is the Knicks' salary cap this year is $105 million. That's a salary cap. $1.8 million is nothing when you talk about $105 million. I think the salary cap is $99 million league wide or something like that. $1.8 million is not a lot of money. That's like 50 cents, man. It's like $1 to me.
I know, Coach. 1.8, you can keep him. If you want him on your team, you can keep him for 1.8. Okay. I'm pretty sure as a third string point, he's a third string point guard to me. So 1.8 million. Are you going to pay 1.8 million for a third string point guard?
I don't think he's a third string point guard. I think he's a guy that comes off the bench, a 6-man. You know what I'm saying? And then if your point guard is hurt, he can come in and start for you and give you production. I don't think he's a third string. Chat.
Everybody wants to compare him to like a Lou Williams. I don't think he's that, Coach. I don't think he's that, man. He's got to put it in for a full season.
I mean, but even if he's not that, your third string players make $1.8 million.
Yeah, if he's my third string player, dude, you gotta get to the end of the year to see what's out there, right? But if he's my third string point guard, I guess I'll take that back and probably do it. But 1.8 is still a lot of money for a third string point guard.
I mean, now, Jared Jack is making $2.3 million. You know
is that veterans minimum?
That's like that's the vets minimum.
Yeah. Okay. So and Jared Jack, he's still bringing things to the team that nobody even sees. So he was probably worth that money looking at it for the whole full year and what's probably he's going to be doing for the Knicks in the future. Coach, what I really wanted to say was one thing. At the end of the game, this Trey, he had a marvelous game, had 42 points, 12 assists. Mm-hmm. At the end of the game, they put him in that pick and roll. Dwight Howard, 6'10", gave him those picks. He was lost in the sauce, man. He couldn't do nothing. Kemba just came off them picks and just started flinging, man.
Okay. You're right.
That's going to happen at the end of the game, every game. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna have that happening to him every game. He's going to have that happening to him 82 games. You think he's going to be able to hack it? I don't think so, Coach.
Well, I mean, I don't.
being
That,
honest.
but that's why I think he's a. That's why I think he's a backup player. That's why I think he comes off the bench.
I think he's a third stringer. But I think he's a third stringer,
Okay.
Coach.
All right. Hey, I appreciate your call, man. I respect your opinion for sure.
Yes. Shout out to the chat. Respect to you, dog. Everything is cool, man. And I'm gonna keep on calling. I love everything,
Definitely.
man. Peace.
Call in again. Peace, bro. 1.8 million. I mean, I would love to have 1.8 million. I tell you that in my pocket right now. I'm building to it. I don't have it. I'm building, y'all. I'm building. You know, and that's cancer. So the report comes out, he's gonna have an agent change. You think that affects anything as far as his contract for this year? I don't. I think he's still gonna pick up his option to continue playing for the Knicks because he's not gonna get $18 million on the market. And then I guess that really has no bearing on the year after because he's gonna be a free agent anyway. You know what I'm saying? But he is changing agents. You know, and who knows though? It could be an interesting scenario when you change agents. You know, you get a new agents, those agents have ideas. So you never know what could happen. You know what I'm saying? Jason Santiago, what's popping, man?
Yo, what's up? I'm a first-time caller. Thank you for your show, bro. I really appreciate your show because I work overnight.
Okay.
So, you know, I be missing the Knicks game sometimes, but I'm always tuned into your show.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it.
Real talk. But yeah, I'm missing tonight's game. But real quick, what Mark was saying, Trey is definitely better than Raymond Felton. It was you know, probably at the time Raymond Felton was probably a little better, you know. But let's get back to it.
Okay.
Because a lot of that Isaiah Thomas conversation is really going crazy for me.
What about? I mean, what's your view on Isaiah Thomas? What's your views on Isaiah Thomas?
Man, you know, with Boston, they really had a lot of assets. Right. So, you know, him scoring, he using his speed to score was great. You know, he was a horrible defender. But they had assets in Boston. They had a lot of players, you know, with Smart playing defense. You know, they got Brown over there. They got a bunch of talent. So it covers up for all the messes.
Right. And they got a great coach that knows how to mask it.
Exactly. And Boston has a legacy. So, you know, of course, they destined for greatness. You know, I'm a diehard Knicks fan, though, since I was like 4 or 5 years old. I'm 27 right now.
Okay.
So, you know, I don't seen, you know, I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
Not as much as you, but I've seen a lot.
Yeah, you've seen everything except for them win.
Exactly. But let's get to this Knicks talk, man. I was excited when I heard Trey Burke have 42 points, 12 assists. That's a big step. Now, if Jess could implement a little bit for when he was doing at Phoenix, where he had 3 point guards starting. You know, I like to see that now. You know, before the season ends. You know, I don't want to mess it up for next season if he started doing that, because I really see Frank, you know, not starting at the small forward, but at least getting some playing time at the small forward, because the guy is like a 7-foot wingspan.
Yeah. You
know, he got the long arms.
Yeah, and I think we've seen him play a little bit of small forward. In order for him he can defend a small forward, but you know, right now at his age and size, defending that small forward spot is kind of hard because he's so small. But in a couple of years, he'll be just fine. There won't be any problems at all.
Yeah, I'm sure the off-ball defense will probably be better, you know, than the on-ball, because he's a great off-ball defender. But, you know, having him at the small forward and Mounier at the 2 as a slasher more than a shooting, you know, the regular shooting 2, I just want to see that. I want to see how that mesh. You know, with Trey Burks at the point, and Moutier at the 2, and Frank at the 3. You know, I just want to see how that works. Because it kind of worked pretty good with the Phoenix Suns. You know, they had Goran Dragic at the small forward, I believe. Who was they to? I don't know if it was Bledsoe or Brandon Knight with Isaiah Thomas, but you know, it looked pretty good.
Yeah. They were playing some real small ball and really getting up and down the floor. That was the big benefit. You know what I'm saying? And they had guys that they were almost playing AAU ball with that squad because, you know, when you play AAU ball, there's a lot of guards that attack the rim, and that's what they were doing. Throwing guards out there and then attack the rim, attack. You know, the thing about, you know, that was a few years back. The league is steadily getting longer, and the thing now is you got guys that are long that can attack, and that's scary. You know, it's scary,
yeah.
but you know you know, with Scott Perry bringing in people like Moutier and other guards, they may be looking to say, okay, Jeff, we're gonna get you some guards so you can play that attack ball.
Yeah, which is not like the regular basketball, you know, every Knicks fan is accustomed to, because we really do need a small forward. You know, we could get like the best small forward out the draft this upcoming year. It'd be a good look.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, you know, I feel like we solid. You know, we got a few big men. You know, we got some new guys, some role players.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we are like kind of over the cap, if you ask me. You know, with the Joakim Noah and his Cantor.
Yeah, we're about $6 million over the cap. I think what Scott Perry and Steve Mills need to do going into 2019 is get the Knicks under the cap so that when Cantor's contract comes off, when his contract comes off the books, they'll truly have $18 million freed up. The way it is now, they won't have $18 million freed up if his contract comes off the books, because there's $6 million over the cap. You know, but I think they could find a way to shave $6 million.
I don't know. They pull one of those trades like when we got Tracy McGrady. You know, that really took a salary cut there.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, it doesn't have to be for next season unless, you know, they just don't want to pay the luxury tax, but it has to be that summer going into 2019 that they've got to have it shaved off by then.
Yeah.
You know, so that they really have that, you know, they have that. I don't think they're going to keep Cantor though, unless they're going to get him at a really good contract, because they said they want to be players in the free agent market in 2019. The only way for them to be players in the free agent market is for Cantor's contract to be off the books. That's the only way. And his contract expires that summer. If he opts in this year, then it expires the summer of 2019. That's the only way. That's the only way they're going to be players in that free agent market, is if his contract is gone.
So do you think he's going to want to take a pay cut? Because the guy's averaging like a double-double, you know. You know,
I don't think he's going to have a choice but to take a pay cut, because I don't think
if he really loves the Knicks, you know, if he really loves us Knicks fans too, he will probably do that.
Yeah, but I'm talking to any team. I don't think he's not going to make $18 million. You know what I'm saying?
He's like about 12 mil. If you ask me, he's like about 12 mil type of guy.
Yeah, so I don't think,
you know, not really, but you know the way the league is, and they paying NBA players, you know, so much money. I'm sure they probably throw him like 10 mil a year.
They might, they might give him something like that, but I don't think he's gonna have a choice wherever he plays in the league in his next contract, but to take a pay cut, which is unless he just comes out next year and he's really a different player. Like, I think if he wants to make $18 million a year, and this is a far stretch for me. He's got to vastly improve on defense. He's got to expand. He's got to deepen his range, you know, so he can at least hit a deep 2. You know, at least have that mid-range game.
He shies away from it.
You know, so and maybe he does here and there. He might, but I think he's got to show that consistently.
Jazz. Watching him in the Jazz, I was a big fan of him when he played for Utah. You know, he had like a modern day big man game, and I remember him shooting a lot of mid range.
Okay.
You know, but you don't see that too much now. You kind of do here and there.
Right.
You know,
here and there. But he's got to knock
Yeah.
that down consistently. You know what I'm saying? Here and there, though, he does pull a little mid-range shot. But I think those are the things. If he wants to get another $18 million contract, he's going to have to show that he can do those things consistently next season. You know.
Yep, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I feel like he got to get stronger too. You know, he look a little chubby. He got to gain some muscle mass.
Yeah, I mean, I know he said over this summer he really went on a restrictive diet so that he can build get a little bit lighter, get stronger, and he probably needs to do that again this summer. You know what I mean? And he might improve defensively if he does it again this summer. Who knows? But hey, Jason, man, thank you for the call. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, likewise. I appreciate you too, man. Thank you for your show, man.
Appreciate it, man. Definitely call in again. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, peace, man. All right, chat. It's 11:46, man. I'm about to head out because I got some things I gotta go. Got to get up in the morning. Got some things I gotta do. All right, but it's been a great chat. You know, a lot of debate. Whose Mark was, coming in with some stuff. A couple people. $1.8 million is now, a maximum contract. I don't know. Who knows? Only in this chat, though. But anyway, I'm out. And when do we play next? Check this out. When do we play next? I think we play Thursday, is it? Tuesday? We play Wednesday versus Philly in Philadelphia. All right. I am going to get at you guys Wednesday night. I'm out. You guys be peaceful. Peace. If you enjoyed the chat, enjoyed the stream, subscribe below. Ring the bell so you can get a notification anytime that I go live. Check out those videos over here, over there. And peace.